Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So I'm teaching myself microcontroller programming using this bit of kit called EBlocks, and I'm going through this curriculum called Introduction to Microcontroller Programming. I think I'm on like page 82. Last video I believe we did interrupts. So macros. Yeah, so still doing external interrupts. So I mean it goes on for a while this, and to be honest, I'm not learning as much as I'd like to be learning. So hopefully this video is a bit better. So what they want me to do now, so they just give you a task and they don't really tell you how to go about doing it. So I'm supposed to write a program to make a reaction timer that lights all the LEDs initially, keeps them lit for around 6 seconds, okay, switches them off and starts a timer. Stops the timer when the player presses, okay, when the player presses switch 0. Then displays the resulting reaction time on the LCD. Okay, so it's a game. Use a variable that is incremented every 10 milliseconds. Download this program to the microcontroller and test it. Okay, so I'm kind of up for that. Seems a bit interesting. So we want to turn on all the LEDs, keep them on, and then switch them off and start a timer. Okay, cool. So if we go to Flowcode here, so this is our old program from yesterday. So do we want to do the same thing? I don't know if I got anywhere with that. So we start the LCD, we set a flag. I don't know if I want to do any of this. So let's first just using that set an output. First thing we do, turn on the output. And then I'll put the delay at the end. So it's gonna go into there, isn't it? Okay, no, I'll do my output at the end. So write to port A. Let's write 255 and keep that on for 6 seconds. But isn't it? This ain't gonna work because it's gonna go into this while loop. So I kind of need it in there, I guess. No, I don't. Okay. I only want it to happen once, so maybe I don't even need the while loop. Okay. So turn on the LED for 6 seconds, and then after 6 seconds, check for the interrupt. And yeah. Damn, I don't know. Damn. Okay, let's think. Light all the LEDs initially. I feel like I need to just start with a fresh program. Let me just delete all of this out of here for now. Ah dear. We'll keep this interrupt. Get rid of that. Okay. Oh, I had a write string function that was calling. Okay, let's work with this. So we start the LED and then we write 255 to port A, and we do that for 6 seconds. So I kind of want to just have two. Let's start writing in functions and let me get used to writing in functions. So the first function I feel is light all the LEDs initially, keep them lit for 6 seconds, and then turn them off. That's what I think that's my first function. So let's just do that. So what do they call it here? Is it a macro? I think they call it a macro. Component user macro, I think. Yeah. And let's call this. How does this work? I can't remember. I make a new macro, okay, and call it LEDs on. I could set return values. That's cool. Okay, so let's go back here. So use a macro, LEDs on, and then parameter wise, what can I do here? Again, I haven't been taught any of this. So there are no parameters right now. That's okay. So that's set to LEDs on. Can I return? Is there any return function? Again, see, I just have no idea. So, all right, what we'll do is we'll write to the output for 6 seconds, and then let's set a flag. So we want a flag What do we do? Calculation. Just the naming of stuff is not quite right as well. So we want LEDs on, flag is set to true. There, yeah, create it, give it, yeah, okay. And then we want to set it to false at the end of this thing. All right, cool. So now the LED, that calls the LEDs on function, which has a flag to tell me whether it's in that code or not. All right. So I want to call this, I start my LCD screen and then I turn my LEDs on. After that, I guess I only want to check. So let me do it in this statement here. I want to check if my LEDs are on, then ignore. If LEDs is on, then I don't want to look for, I don't want to do anything. Only if the LEDs aren't on, then I want to check for my macro, which is checking for, in this case, got dice roll. We'll rename that. Don't know how to do it right now. How do I rename that? So instead of dice roll, let's call this reaction time. So we've got a new macro called reaction time. I'm going to delete this whole flag because it gets confusing. So check for reaction time and then write to the screen. And let's just put a little delay after writing to the screen of, let's say, 100 milliseconds, just to keep the text on the screen there. So we start the screen and then we say turn my LEDs on. If the LEDs on flag, then just skip it right to the screen, and then we need to go back to the beginning. No, I don't think we do. Right? After that, we then need to go into like a for loop, into a while loop of just counting at that point. So let's put a while loop. I guess we can just keep writing to the screen here. So we'll keep writing to the screen here, but then we'll also start incrementing a timer. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. We'll write to the screen. Let's do another calculation. And I've got a bit distracted now. I'm not finished yet with that flags. So let's say timer count is equal to timer count plus 1. Yep, define that for me. Give it an integer. Yep. Okay. And then we want to increment that every 10 milliseconds. So I only want to write to the, when do I want to write to the screen? And also, does that have a delay in it? It does have a delay in it. So do I want that delay? I don't know. That's going to mess up my timing now. I'll remove that delay and I'll put that at the end. So increment the timer and then write to the screen. This probably isn't going to work. But if LED is on, then don't do anything and just, we don't want it to increment the timer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a connection point and declare that connection point. And I'll go to here. So if the LEDs are on, then jump out and just skip that and go here and carry on. Okay, does that work? Then if the LED isn't on anymore, then keep checking for that macro. Maybe I'll put this all in here like this. If the LED isn't on anymore, I guess maybe I want my connection point to be back. Just go back to the top of the program. This doesn't really work, does it? Ugh. Okay, so if the LEDs are on, go to connection point. Don't do anything. Just bam there. It's just gonna stay there forever and lose it. Why do I need this condition to check if the LEDs are on? I mean, this code is only getting here once the LEDs have turned off at that point anyways. I don't think I even need this flag. So I'm going to delete the flag because it's confusing me. Move this while loop out of there. Get rid of this whole if statement. Get rid of this declaration point. Alright. So turn your LEDs on and then wait for the interrupt and increment the counter whilst writing to the screen. Maybe I say once the interrupt occurs, which is we're calling reaction time, then jump out of the program and just write that to the screen. Maybe that's when I write to the screen. Reaction time. Let's put our reaction time in here. Take reaction time out of there. So at the moment, reaction time doesn't do anything. So that just writes to the screen. So if you receive the interrupt, then go to here, write to screen, and let's put a delay. Alright, I've kind of worked my way through this in my head. Write that to the screen for 200 milliseconds, and then what? At that point, come out of the interrupt, and then it's going to carry on it counting again, which you don't really want. Dang. Okay. This is challenging. So, write to the screen, 200 milliseconds, timer count +1, 10 milliseconds. Okay, increment, and then it's checking for this. Once it receives it, it's going to write to the screen and end. What do we do at that point? It then comes back into this while loop and just carries on incrementing until what? Maybe then you reset the timer count to 0. Or can you go back to the beginning? Can I set a go to in the, so can I say, can I do this go to connection point and declare the connection point here? Is that going to work? Can I make it global? I can't make it global. So that's annoying. How do I do that if I want to do that? Yeah, I don't know. The end out of here. Okay. That's not so, is that so bad? No, it is bad. Oh, we set a flag. That's what we do. We go back to my flag. Where's my flag? Calculation. So write to the screen, set a flag. Right, so flag, I don't know. Flag is equal to 1. And then we say if flag is equal to 1. So I did need all that decision. So if flag if flag, there we go. Then go to connection point and go back to the beginning. Yep, cool. Otherwise, keep looping through. So keep incrementing this timer at 10 millisecond intervals. And then if we see the interrupt, then we write to the screen, set our flag, and wait 200 milliseconds. Then we exit out of that interrupt, and then if the flag is set, now jump back to the beginning and turn the LEDs on again. Do I want to turn the LEDs on again? I don't know. If the flag is set, maybe we just wait for 5 seconds. I know what we do. We wait for 5 seconds and we'll write, 5 seconds. We'll write to the screen to say, let's do this. Print, so set our cursor to 0, or clear the screen and then print, I don't know. Print, I don't know, restarting or something like that. Restarting. And it's got 5 seconds and then it'll go back to carry on. So, what I'm not happy about is my write to the screen, it's writing result and then the count. So where am I using this count value? Timer count. I've got timer count. So I want, that should be timer count then. Timer count true. Yep. All right. I think whether or not I'm ready, oh, I'm ready to give that a go. So let's do file save as. So I'm not convinced that this is going to work, but let's give it a go. So compile to target. Usually I would have compiled to target many times before this, but I think I had to rattle my brain here for this one. So usually my old boss told me that whenever you want to download to the PLC and you're going to make a software change, you need to do at least 3 downloads, meaning that if you want to set this flag, you make the change, download to the PLC, and then you get it wrong and you're like, damn, I forgot this one thing. You download again and you're like, I also forgot this other one thing, and then on the 3rd time you eventually get it. So let's see what's happened here. At the moment, nothing's turned on the screen. The LEDs are all on. They should turn off after 6 seconds. They have not. They have remained on. What's my interrupt on? That's the question. There you go. My interrupt my interrupt is on all of these pins. So let's change that. That will be certainly affecting things. So into pin, and let's set our pin A0. We don't want that. Let's do B0. But again, we're right into the screen, so B0. This is the crappy thing about this board, actually. I was talking to my boss about it today. This board, I actually am out of buttons. I can't use any more buttons. I forgot what it is now. But I have this LED board. So what I'll probably do is I'll turn on all of the LEDs on this, so then I can use the buttons there. Because I can't actually use any of these buttons because they get written to when you're using the LCD. So it's a bit of a design flaw, this whole thing. But they'll tell you that it's designed like that intentionally. So I've now got some LEDs there. Let's switch. So we'll use A0 for my interrupt pin, and we will turn on for the LEDs. We'll write to port C. Give that a go. So this is our 2nd download, and then hopefully this works. So all these LEDs should turn on for 6 seconds. And then I press A0 after that to get my reaction time. Yeah, man. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? It's doing, it's not done yet. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, so they're on for 6 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. I stupidly pressed it when I shouldn't have. But they're still on. Oh, it's gone off. Screen's gone blank as well. Why? Oh, restarting. But okay. Let's start that again. I've reset it now. But what happened there was the LEDs aren't turning off. So if I press the interrupt now, A0, it said, it came up with the result and then just immediately said restarting. 572, it says result. 572. 573. And then it's just not saying anything else after that. I'm clicking it, but not doing anything. Alright, so what's not working here? So firstly, the LEDs aren't turning off, and that makes sense because my LEDs on code I then need to write 0 to it after that. So let's write 0, and then I've also deleted my flag. So how does it even know? We write 0, put a quick delay there for like just 1 millisecond. So that should now turn off. Once that turns off, okay, well, let's start from there because I was distracted by it not turning off. So once these turn off, then what's happening with this 572 thing? The restarting seems to be giving me some issues. Yeah, man. Let's take its time to download. The next thing I'll fix the restart, I think. So LED should turn off. 3, 2, 1. Oh, they've turned off, and then it wrote the result itself. So it found its own. It found the interrupt itself. So it's just carried on without me. I didn't even press anything. So what's happened there? So we turn on LEDs. Then when that's done happening, we then go into here and start incrementing the timer counter every 10 milliseconds. We're checking if the flag is set. So I guess my flag is 0. We don't know. So let's set my flag to 0. So in the beginning of my program, I'm going to set my flag to 0. So I guess my flag could be whatever, right? Undefined at that point. Let me try that again. So set my flag to 0. And I wish I could scroll whilst this is compiling, because I'm going to read the rest of my code. Alright, see what happens. File sent, 6 seconds. Okay, it turned off, and then now it's doing the restarting thing again. So why is it automatically restarting? That we don't know. If the flag is set, otherwise no, go back to here and carry on incrementing. So surely this flag isn't being set elsewhere. Only when you've got the reaction time, then set your flag to 1. Doesn't make sense. If flag, so I've got this if flag thing, so I'll just say if flag is equal to 1. And then if it's a no, can we put something in? Can we just put like a 5 millisecond delay, or I don't even know, a 1 millisecond delay? So it's doing something. Doesn't quite make sense to me yet. I'm not actually sure what the problem is. So timer count. Why would it be restarting? Let's think about it. Am I right? I'm looking at interrupt on A0. Do I ever write to A0? Looks like no. So okay, sorry, missing it. Yeah, it just restarted again. So I'm writing to these LEDs because I'm writing to the LCD screen, so that's okay. These LEDs are turning on just because of the way the circuitry is wired. I haven't pressed anything here, so if I press this now, it says restarting. Does it restart after 5 seconds? It does. The restart work. And then turns off. Oh, never easy, man. It's never easy. So let me. So my interrupt is working. So okay, so I press the interrupt. What happens there at that point? Let's debug from there. We go into reaction time. We set a flag to 1, and then we're told to write to the screen the result. And then it's got 200 milliseconds. So it's only holding that result for 200 milliseconds. We can hold that obviously for as long as we want. Let's hold it for, I don't know, 10 seconds. Let's go 5. Bit too ambitious there with 10. Okay, so I think that was it. It was just, for some reason, I don't know why I had a 200 millisecond delay there. So I'm hopeful now. It takes a while to download. It's bloody hell. I'm just not. This is just not a fun experience. Oh dear. All right, cool. What's happening now? Nothing. So okay, yeah. Wait, why aren't those on? Result 1. Why is my result 1? I didn't do anything. Let's just restart it. So these are now on for 6 seconds. They've gone off. I haven't pressed anything yet. If I press it now, 540. That's a bit suspicious. Just restart it. If I press it, nothing should happen, which is correct. Nothing's happening. I pressed it and I got a 1. I doubt that, so it's restarting again. So I'll wait a bit when it turns off. Alright, it's turned off. 223. So it does seem to be working actually. I don't know how to append onto the end of that number, like milliseconds, ms. It says restarting. That's not turned on again. What happens? Yeah, man. Turns off. Alright. 3, 2, 1. 630 is the result. And then it should go to restarting. Yep. And then these turn on. Yep. If I press it, nothing happens until they turn off. Oh, they're staying on. They're staying on. These things are stuck on. Alright, I'm pretty satisfied with that. It's obviously a bit... Oh, it's gone off now. Restarting. It's a bit buggy, obviously. But, I mean, quite frankly, I don't know if it's my code or if it's Flowcode. I have no idea what's worse here. Like, this software, this hardware, or my programming skills. I mean, ultimately, going through this curriculum, I just feel like an absolute idiot. So, what I'm going to do is, on the last part of this bit, it says to modify the program tree to limit the time allowed to the size of the used variable. So I'm not going to do that. We'll just move on to the next one, which is using timer interrupts. So we'll do that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm not, if you can hear in my voice that I'm not enjoying this, I'm genuinely not enjoying this. So it's not, you know, this isn't deadpan comedy. This is me not enjoying it. So cool. Next video using timer interrupts. Thank you. Bye bye.